Moms, I know you want to feed your families well, and while it seems like it should be such a simple task, we also know that it's not always that way because kids, even husbands, can be so finicky. That's why today, as part of our ongoing My Wellness series, we've asked Dr. Jennifer Shue to join us this morning. Not only is she the medical editor for healthychildren.org, the official parenting website of the American Academy of Pediatrics, but she's also the co-author of the new book, Food Fights, Winning the Nutritional Challenges of Parenthood, armed with insight, humor, and a bottle of ketchup. She's here this morning to serve up a refresher course on what makes for nutritious living and offer some really great tips and tricks so your family will eat well without even really knowing it. Dr. Shue, good morning to you. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you, Danielle.
Hey, listen, nothing wrong with tricking them into eating well.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Absolutely. And, you know, as a parent, I am concerned about my children's nutritional intake. How early is too early for moms to prep their kids to eat nutritiously?
You know what? It's never too early. You need to start right in infancy, and if it's at all possible, try to breastfeed because that's a perfect nutrition for your baby. It has really important healthy antibodies, and also it's so affordable. So start right away, and then once you start your baby on solid foods, it's so easy to buy or make healthy fruits, vegetables, meats, cereals that don't contain a lot of sugar, fat, or salt.
Very good advice there. So what exactly constitutes good nutrition?
So keep in mind a formula called 5210.
5210.
At least 5 fruits or vegetables a day, no more than 2 hours of screen time per day, at least an hour of exercise, and no sugar-sweetened beverages.
That's the hard one.
It is hard, right?
That is the hard one.
They do sometimes taste good.
Absolutely. So go ahead.
Another thing to remember is the My Plate concept. Think of your plate as a circle, cut it in half, make sure half of it is fruits and vegetables, a quarter of it should be whole grains, and then a quarter can be your proteins such as lean meats, beans, soy, eggs, nuts even.
We tend to do the opposite. Half the plate tends to be the meat, right? And then a little quarter is the broccoli.
So try the other way around and be really heavy on the fruits and vegetables. And then don't forget to have your calcium on the side.
So let me ask you this. Are there certain routines that the whole family can kind of participate in together to kind of stay on track together?
Absolutely. And remember that every small choice and change you make adds up to a good, healthy lifestyle. So do simple things like eating a healthy breakfast. Eat as many meals together as a family as possible. Make sure that the family exercises together. Get your kids out walking to school, for example, or take a stroll after dinner.
We do all of that. We let our kids, we race them after dinner and we let them beat us because then they want to do it again and it keeps them outside and keeps them active. But at least every family has at least one picky eater who does not want to eat it no matter what you do. How do you get those kids to try new things and eat nutritiously?
Well, the first thing is that parents need to eat by example. Your children are watching what you're doing, so you are a role model. And then the second thing to remember is that it takes time. So a healthy diet is not built overnight, and your kid's not going to turn into a perfect eater within a matter of days or weeks. It will take years, even a lifetime. One thing to keep in mind is that it can take a good dozen exposures to a new food before a child will actually accept it. It sounds really kind of ridiculous.
I mean, that's like, I would give up after like 1 or 2 tries.
And most parents do. And so I encourage parents not to give up too easily. Try a concept called a no thank you bite, where a child is allowed to say no thank you after they try just one bite of the food. And you'll often find that they will learn to accept it and realize that it's not so bad after all.
Sure. But what about those kids who throw food tantrums? I mean, I'm not going to eat this no matter what you say or do. They just don't want any parts of it. How can you calmly and effectively deal with this?
Well, first, keep your composure. And then,
hard to do sometimes.
Right. So you're the adult, you're in charge. Stay really calm yourself, and then try to figure out why it is that child's having the tantrum in the first place. If she's having it because she's hungry, then a little bit of food is going to get that blood sugar back up and get that tantrum to stop. If they're really just tired, that's time for the meal to be over. And then some kids just like to test gravity. The 1-year-olds, for example, they want to see, okay, what happens if I drop it or if I throw it? My parent's going to go pick that up. So try to redirect them into actually eating. And one way to do that is to keep all the distractions out of the room. Turn off the TV, for example.
Really great advice, Dr. Shue. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing this with us this morning.
My pleasure.
It's good to see you. And of course, you can get a lot more insights about nutritional eating at healthychildren.org.